Hello, I'm Dan Slentz, and welcome back to Film Domain. Today's review is Ford versus Ferrari, the true story behind the race of brands. Before we get started, thank you for checking out Film Domain, and be sure to subscribe and share this channel to help us grow, and check out Game Domain for our game-related content. Ford versus Ferrari details the events that led up to the historic 1966 Le Mans race. The Ford Motor Company, facing dwindling profits and desiring a new image, wants to place themselves back on the map. When an acquisition of their European competitors of Ferrari doesn't go through, Ford decides to beat Ferrari at their own game on their own track. Though Ford had been featured in races before, it was never at Le Mans. For this crucial task to save the company with a winning persona, the company enlists two experts in the field. Carroll Shelby, played by Matt Damon, is a former Le Mans racer turned automotive designer. Ken Miles, played by Christian Bale, is a World War II veteran that's turned into an expert racer. Both would seem like the dream team for a Ford racing team, but it won't be an easy sell. The vice president of Ford, played by a once more underused John Bernthal, tries to make the case to the Ford CEO Henry Ford II, played by Tracy Letts. It's a hard battle of convincing. Henry doesn't believe Shelby can pull it off, and it's up to Shelby to make his case for him being the one to design the fastest car on the track. Also requiring Shelby's sales pitch is Miles, who has a much shorter fuse that makes him an even tougher sell. As a cocky, bitter, and sometimes violent racer, Henry doesn't believe such a man should be the face of Ford. They just don't like him, at one point thinking he's a beatnik for some reason. Even Shelby doesn't like him, never quite seeing eye to eye as men of mechanics. They even have a feud amid groceries, just in case you ever want to see Bale and Damon have a battle of bread. It's a great scene worth checking out. Ultimately, they come together more or less for their passion. Since they don't really have a rival in the big Le Mans race, it was an interesting choice to essentially make Ford the enemy, approaching their love of cars more with consideration for the brand than the trust of the men making their financial dreams come true. This creates somewhat of an unease for essentially capitalism being the biggest obstacle for these men, in that they love the work on cars and they love to race, but they need the cash to make it all happen. Before Ford approaches them, they were both struggling to make ends meet with their independent businesses. Answering to Ford proves to be a battle all its own. Thankfully, the film maintains a love for the passion of racing. We get to see that drive and enthusiasm with their eyes, that exuberance and frustration for trying to craft the perfect racing vehicle. Though the antic of Ford ultimately watered down their victory, the pair of Shelby and Miles are not entirely dismayed. They still get to keep doing what they love, and sometimes that's just what we want out of life. Director James Mangold takes great care with this film to make it far more than just a gearhead gusher of a racing movie. His shooting style feels as light and graceful as it does sharp and vibrant. There are grand shots of racetracks that just bathe in astounding color and depth, but of course the real draw will be the racing scenes, and Mangold has not skipped in this department. All of the racing scenes feel not only intense and fast-paced, but also stable and coherent. There's never a moment where the camera shakes too much or veers off course that we can't tell where Miles is during the race. There's an undeniable ability to his direction where we never feel like he's being left in the dust, always alongside both Shelby and Miles for the ride. Ford versus Ferrari greatly distances itself from other racing pictures by taking its time to understand the guts behind those that adore cars and wrote the history on Ford's prolific rise from the ashes. The retro stylings of the 1960s are very present in the movie, complete with dated dialogue and throwback soundtrack. The racing scenes are exciting and never feel to be mirrored in B-roll chaos. You don't even have to be a mechanical mastermind to really appreciate the character and craft of this picture. On its very style, the film appears like a decent choice for a dad movie, but Mangold's fantastic direction makes it an easy enough picture to recommend to anyone, even those who don't have the heaviest investment in either opposing auto companies. Thanks for watching this video here on Film Domain, and let us know down in the comments below what you thought of today's video. And also tell us what you thought of Ford versus Ferrari. Make sure that you leave a like on this video and subscribe to Film Domain and our main channel, Game Domain, as well. Please be sure to share this channel in any way you can to help us share our love for movies to even more people. Also, be sure to join our Discord, which is down in the description below. That Discord is going to be our hub for everything Game Domain and Film Domain, and you're welcome to join and talk about all your film and gaming passions and interests. We hope to see you there. I'm Dan Slentz for Film Domain. Once again, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more great content.